Red Sox, and I altered the rosters so I have the lineups, which will let me set the lineups of Benny, and all these are correct lineups. Even the pitching rotation is correct. Down here is budget, and you can see at 113, and we got some pretty bad contracts. Like Mook, you're about to lose him. Oh, this is last year arbitration. Nathan Eovaldi has a stupidly big contract for not being that good. And stats for pitchers, the fielding, arm strength, arm reaction is just like fielding a ball. Stamina is like how many pitches you can throw. Hits, like it allows it says like if you have really good hits for 9, so it's like at 99, which is max, then you're not gonna have very many hits. Same with Ks, walks. If you have really low, if you have like 20 walks, 20 BB/9, then you're gonna be walking a lot of batters. And if you have low home runs for 9, then you're also gonna be giving up a lot of home runs. So he's not that great. He's a 76 overall, and through his career, this was a decent year, pretty good, but he has been that great, and he's been in the league for a while. A couple of different teams. Bogarts is he's the Red Sox rock. Without him, they wouldn't have done nothing this year. We got him on a nice contract for a while till 2027. He's a free agent. Then we got like Jackie Bradley Jr., who's a good fielder but terrible hitter. So he's not that great. And Chris Sale's on a big contract. David Price he's not bad. He's good, but he's 33. He's gonna start declining. JD Martinez, who's a great hitter. No need to keep him. Then we got some other guys like Dustin Pedroia, this is not his contract. I don't know why they have it. In real life, he's owed over the next 3 years. He's getting paid $13 million every year. So love that guy. Erod, he's a great pitcher and had a phenomenal year. They don't have the stats recorded, but he had a great year. Christian Vasquez is on a nice deal. He's only 28, he's young, and he had a great season, so he has good stats. So for catchers, on the right, you can see blocking. That's going to, how good he is as a blocker. So the higher the number is, the better you're at. So the better contact, the higher average you hit. The higher power you have, the more home runs you hit. And clutch is how clutch you are with runners and scoring position. Discipline is how you can lay off the strikes, and vision is like your bat to ball skills. Durability is how long you can stay healthy for him, and bunt's just bunting. So we have some other guys like Chris Owings, who's not that great, wasn't very good in real life this year. He's in the minors for a while. Then we have some decent guys like Matt Barnes is pretty good. You have him under contract for a while. Brandon Workman was fantastic this year. Rafael Devers was fantastic, and he's a free agent in 2024, so we have him for a while. But an extension, and he's only 22, but an extension will be nice. He's an absolutely incredible hitter. Great year, love that guy. Then we have guys like Jerry Mejia, who you guys might have forgot, was with the Mets a while back, and was pretty damn good. Yeah, not the greatest, but he's pretty good. He hasn't played for a while because of PEDs suspension, but he came back. Benintendi, who's an absolute stud. Phenomenal year in 2018, but 19 wasn't that great. But we have him for a while. He's not a free agent until 2023. An extension would be nice. Then we have some younger guys like 2Z Leonard, who comes up sometimes. Don't really have any. Here's the roster. You can see starting pitching. Our starting pitcher is led by our ace Chris Sale, who has a giant contract. He's great, but this year's a down year. David Price, who was doing phenomenal in the first half, not phenomenal, but solid, good. Then he got hurt in the second half and didn't pitch so well. He was great last year for us. Erod, who was also incredible for us this year, should I say, for the 2019 season. Was great for us. He was the ace of the staff, in my opinion. Martin Perez, we signed from the Rangers. He's not that great. He had an ERA of 5. He's pretty bad. Eovaldi was hurt for a long time. Maybe when he wasn't hurt, he wasn't very good. And Ryan Weber, well, Ryan Weber. He's a minor leaguer though, so minor leagues. Well, up in the top right corner, you can see how many guys we have on the roster. Relief pitchers, we have Matt Barnes, who was good. Ryan Brager, who had a lot of ups and downs. Heath Rambe, Zach Putin, and Josh Ostrich. These guys were just kind of there. Josh Ostrich was acquired off waivers. Yeah, he's acquired off waivers from the White Sox. Brandon Workman's our closer. He had a great year. Took out a lot of guys. Walked a lot, though. Christian Vasquez is our catcher. He had a great year. Steve Pierce is actually, he decided to retire in real life, so we ought to release him. So we have a hole at second base, but the Red Sox, what they did is they moved Michael Chavis over to first base. So he's our first baseman. He can also still play second, but we're still looking at guys. Minor prospects, we have nothing too serious about, and I forgot, C is like 70 to 79, A is like 90 to 99, B is 80 to 89, so like Tommy Joseph, if he was younger, he'd have been a pretty good prospect. Sam Kravis, who was a prospect a while ago, not very, he's alright. The only really good prospect the Red Sox have is Tristan Casas. You know, he's a good hitter. Great personality, and Dustin Pedroia, who's a veteran. He's only played 9 games the last 2 years, but he's incredible. Great contact hitter. You know, in the years that he has played since 2006, he's a career 300 hitter, 140 home runs, 724 RBIs, 138 stolen bases, and he's been great. In 2006, he broke in the league, didn't play so well, played good defense, but 2007 was the real rookie year. Yeah, he had a great year, you know, won rookie of the year. Then the next year he has an even better year and wins MVP. And just always been so solid. You know, you can see more advanced stats. He had a 7.7 WAR. Always been a great fielder, won 4 Gold Gloves. Yeah, 5-time All-Star. And Jose Perez, who we just signed, probably because we're not bringing him back. Brock Holt, sadly, but he's like a utility man. Devers, fine, he's fine. Don't need to move. Another prospect you might get excited about is Bobby Dabelik. Good power hitter, good fielder, good third baseman, but we have Devers, so he might be traded in this rebuild. Xander Bogaerts, he's not going anywhere. Chris Ellings, probably gonna let him walk in free agency. He doesn't offer much at the table. You know, maybe he's not very good. Tuzi Wyland we've had for a while. He's just kind of been a pinch hitter. Played 37 games last year, but not many at bats. JD Martinez is our DH. Benintendi's our left fielder. This guy is incredible. So you can see like the potential. So Benny's got an A, and he's still young, so he'll get better. But Martinez is gonna stay at the same, if not get worse. Rusney Castillo, again, I've heard the name, but yeah, I'm not familiar. Jack Bradley Jr., he's fine. We might get rid of him because he's a terrible hitter, but he's got another arbitration. Corquis Hernandez isn't very good. Mookie Betts is great, one of the best players in baseball, but you know, you can see his stat line there. But phenomenal year last year, but had a pretty good year this year. But as you can see, starts at 2019. We're gonna have to give him arbitration 2020. Right now, it is December 14th, so we're gonna have to do that. And you can train your players here. So Dever, you know, we're just gonna leave it all on auto. You can see like train like, let's say I want Xander Bogaerts to be a better power hitter. We can make him be a better power hitter. If we want JD to work on his contact, we can do that. Eddie Price can work on his hits per 9, and you know, Andrew Benintendi can work on his contact so he can hit for a higher average. Eduardo Rodriguez is just basically, you know, expand on all this stuff. So this is just trying to get our guys better at, you know, what they do, and like try and like. So let's say Christian Vasquez, we want him to hit for a higher average, we'll increase his contact. And we can do this with everybody, you know, JBJ, Jack Bailey Jr., Chris Owings, Jose Perez, Michael Chavis. We can say hit for a higher average, and they'll work on it. And what the Red Sox really have badly is, well, we have a really bad farm director. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out there and sign a new guy. So this guy seems pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give him an offer. And he signs for that, so he has an A. And what we gotta do, these aren't the real Red Sox scouts. The Red Sox scouting system is terrible. So we gotta get whole new guys for this. And we wanna just fill out basically every role. So we'll have good farm guys so we can look for good players and look at the draft, so we can look at these guys. So this guy, a right-hand pitcher, if he has a blue chip, that means he's gonna be 90 to 99. So we can look at this guy like this guy looks real good, but what you want to do is you want to draft. But also, the only really guy that looks very good is Phil McConnell. These other guys don't look that great, and they're gonna scout for them. And free agents right now, because this roster has all the free agents, but there are still some out there like Hyun-Jin Ryu, Josh Donaldson, Will Harris, Brandon Morrow, Madison Bumgardner, who Red Sox could pick up. I don't think they're gonna do it. Marcelo's in it, Dylan Patanzas, Ben Zobrist, Jeremy Jeffries, and these are just some other guys around that are hanging around. Like Rich Hill's a guy, former Red Sox, talks about bringing him back, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. And Nicholas Castellanos, so they're probably gonna get picked up. But we do have guys like Rendon is on the Angels. Sadly, Cole's on the Yankees. But, like, Yankees have Garrett Cole, who's a 99, which means he's very good. Aroldis Chapman, Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, Giancarlo Stanton. So Zach Britton, who's phenomenal. Luis Severino, Adam Ottavino, Tommy Canley, Gary Sanchez, Brett Gardner, Gleyber Torres, James Paxton, Gio Urshela. So they got a lot of good guys on the team. The Orioles aren't very good. Their only good players really Mancini, Means, Givens, and they traded their best. But they do have some prospects like Adley Rutschman, who's a prospect he's going to develop. Ryan Mountcastle, Cedric Mullins, who they acquired in the Dodgers trade, right? And the Giants have their roster. Yeah, who cares about them? They lost a lot of guys. The Padres have a lot of prospects, and they have like Tatis, Chris Paddock, Francisco Mejia, Craig Stammen, Foreman Nat, you know, Manuel Margot, and other prospects like Adrian Maureen. So, pretty good. And the Dodgers are very good with Cody Bellinger, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Kenley Jansen, Max Muncy. Max Muncy is like a good power hitter, so he has good power numbers, but not so great everything else. Justin Turner, pretty solid all-around player. Dylan Fro, good year relieving. Will Smith is a rookie. Blake Trinan, they just signed Jock Peterson, Kiki Hernandez, Joe Kelly, former World Series. Yeah, guy was great for us in the postseason. Really iffy though. 2018, 17 was great though. Yeah, and then they have like Corey Seager, who's good, but hasn't been that good recently. He was, God, I don't know what happened to this guy. He was so good in his rookie year. Then he just kind of got worse every year. Obviously, he's under last year, but Arenado, Story, Blackman. The Rockies aren't very good. They don't have many prospects they had sided with. The Diamondbacks are a young and upcoming team. They're interesting. They have Ketel Marte, Dave Peralta, Eduardo Escobar, and Robbie Ray, who's kind of their core. They also got good guys like Nick Ahmed, Carson Kelly, Archibald Bradley, and Zach Gallen, who's going to be their ace of the future. He's so good this year. And the Cardinals won their division, obviously with Jack Flaherty, Carlos Martinez, Paul Goldschmidt, Mike Mikolas, but Goldschmidt wasn't this good this year, so he's not so great. Rating 85 is still pretty good though. They got a young team though, and veterans mixed in there. Pirates aren't very good. They have this guy Brian Reynolds, who's a very good young rookie. I think he led the league in batting, if I'm not mistaken. Josh Bell had a good year. Jimson Taillon is out with Cy Young. No, he's not out with Cy Young. He had Tommy John. They're not very good. They have a decent rotation. They do have some guys, prospects to get excited about, like Mitch Keller. He's very good, but obviously can't. He's still far away. Yelich, 2018 MVP. He has great stats. Josh Hader, Kirsten Hill, Quick Nabel, Ryan Braun, Omar Narvaez, and somehow this team made the postseason this year. I don't think they're gonna do it in 2020 though. Luis Castillo, Eugenio Suarez, Trevor Bauer, Sonny Gray, Joey Votto, Mike Moustakas, Rafael Iglesias, Tucker Barnhart. So the Reds have a pretty good squad, and they have Nick Senzel, who's at a decent year. He hit 20 home runs. Yeah, he's a real underrated rookie. But they're on the rise. I think they might make a wild card team. They're gonna give the Cubs and Reds trouble. The Cubs, nowhere near there where they were in 2016. They have a very good roster on paper, like they do here, but obviously, like Wilson Contreras is really young. He's only gonna get better, but yeah, they're paying a lot of money to guys like Craig Kimbrell, who was terrible this year with Chicago. And where is he? Jason Hayward, who's terrible, and they're paying him $23 million. Phillies have Aaron Nola, Bryce Harper, David Robertson, who is out with Tommy John, Real Muto, who's, I'd say the MVP, honestly. Zach Wheeler, who they just got in free agency, and the rest of the guys, like, who cares about them? They got Didu Glorious. And the Mets have a good squad, but the Mets gonna Met, so they don't do so well. They have DeGrom, Pete Alonso, Noah Syndergaard, who's their best, and then their best reliever, Seth Lugo. And Wilson Contreras, who had a good year at the plate, good average hitter. Jeff McNeil's a fantastic average hitter. Yeah, his average in vision's high, so he's gonna hit like 320 or something like that, but he's not gonna be a good fielder or power hitter. Matt, World Series champions right here. Scherzer, the ace of the staff, Hall of Famer. Juan Soto, Stephen Strasburg, they just signed an extension. Pretty hefty deal too. Patrick Corbin, Sean Doolittle, Trey Turner, Howie Kendrick, Rick Collins, Kurt Suzuki, Victor Robles, who's a great young rookie, so underrated, hit 20 home runs. Eaton, great player, great guy. Ian Gooms, who they just got back. Or the Marlins are rebuilding, so there's not much to see here. But they have Jonathan Villar, who they acquired in trade. Brian Anderson, who's a real underrated guy. Good player, I meant. And they do have a pretty good young. Well, they do have a really good good rotation with some young guys like Sixto Sanchez, who's gonna be real good. And the Braves are probably gonna win the division with Acuna, Albies, and these guys are on stupidly good deals for the team. Yeah, just like, that's not fair. Freeman, who's best first baseman in baseball. Will Smith, who they just got. Mark Melancon, Mike Soroka, who's just an incredibly good player. Great year, who we're probably going to try and trade for. And the Astros, who are great. Bregman, Greinke, Verlander, Altuve, Presley, Jordan Alvarez, Roberto Osuna, Brantley, Springer, Gurriel, McCullers Jr., Correa, Brad Peacock. Yeah, just a great team. The Rangers, surprisingly pretty good. Joey Gallo, Lance Lynn, Jose Leclerc, Mike Minor, Elvis Andrus, Sensor Chu, Rognan Odor, Kyle Gibson are just pretty good players, and they have some decent prospects like Sam Huff, who they just drafted. Mariners suck. They're not going to be very good. The Athletics are good with Matt Chapman, Liam Hendricks, Marcus Semien, and Matt Olson, who's going to improve. They also got guys like Sean Monet, though, And he's pretty good reliever for them. He's better petite. Angels are on the upcoming with Mike Trout, Rendon, Simmons, and where is he? Fuck, where is he? And Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, that's the core. And then they got some other guys in there like Andrew Heaney, David Fletcher, and Justin Upton. Not that good. Twins won 104 games somehow, and they're really good. Jake Odorizzi, Taylor Rogers, Nelson Cruz, Max Kepler, Mitch Garver, Byron Buxton, Miguel Sano, Jorge Polanco, Eddie Rosario, Jose Barrios. All this team did was hit home runs, and that's probably what they're going to do this year. Whit Merrifield and Hunter Dozier, Alberto Mossi, and Perez is the Royals core, but they're definitely rebuilding. They do have some prospects though, like Brady Zinger, David Lynch, and Bobby Witt Jr. The Tigers, terrible. The only good player they have is Matthew Boyd. Michael Fulmer's out with Tommy John. Miguel Cabrera, who's just a former Husk of himself. He used to be one of the most feared hitters in baseball. Jake Rogers and a prospect I'm really, really excited for, Casey Mize. He's gonna be incredible. But they have some other guys to get excited about, like Franklin Perez and Matt Manning, but they're top prospect. The Indians are on their way down with a pretty old core. The only good players the only young guns they have is like Lindor, who talks with Dodgers trade. Brad Hand, Corey Kluber, Mike Clevenger, Jose Ramirez, Carlos Santana, Shane Bieber, Roberto Perez, who won a Gold Glove. But they don't really have anything to get excited about in the farm system. Ramirez had a down year, so they didn't do that great. They won 94 games, so it didn't make a wild card team. 93, actually. And Corey Kluber's got hurt and only pitched barely. And the White Sox, probably a team I'm very excited for in the future. If they don't make the postseason in 2020, they're definitely going to make it in 2021. They have Corey Grandal, Moncada, who was a former Red Sox, Tim Anderson, Alex Colomé, Luis Giolito, Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, who's going to be great, and he's only going to get better because he's young and has an A potential. They do have like Zach Collins, Nick Margell, who's a great second base prospect. Luis Robert, who's going to be a great prospect. Kopech Cease, Andrew Vaughn, who I'm very excited for. They just have a lot of good prospects in the farm system. Same like the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays have like 3 big ones and some other small guys. Like they have Ken Giles, who's their best closer, not in the league. Biggio, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Londos Gurriel Jr., Tanner Roark, and Bo Bichette, and we got guys like Danny Jansen and Nate Peterson, but they're quite a ways away. The Rays are good with Morton, Snell, Alvarado, Yarbrough, Nick Anderson, Hunter Renfroe, Brandon Lowe, Kevin Kiermaier, Austin Meadows. So they're pretty good for the future, and we already checked the Yankees. So that leads us back to us. So we're gonna simulate the 2000. Red Sox now have 4 valid lineups. We have to check that. What are we missing? First baseman. Ah, shit, that's right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna Dustin Pedroia's already in the bags. So where is it? Here we go. Gonna put Dustin over at second, Chavis on first, and we're pretty good. That's all we have to do. So we're gonna be pretty set for the future. Well, not set for the future, but we were set a couple years ago for the future. But now, believe it or not, we're on the downcline. Yeah, we're not doing so great. So we gotta look at our best hitters, and it's probably Chris Elling, surprisingly, just because he can hit lefties well. And so we got our lineup. we got our pitching rotation is really lefty heavy. It's probably gonna have to get rid of some lefties. So what we're gonna do to get rid of some payroll, we're gonna go for the Orioles for John Means. He's had a great rookie year. Gonna see what we can get for him. We're gonna try and get rid of some big contracts. So Nathan Eovaldi, they can't take on his contract, so we have to take on a hefty-sized contract they have. So we have to look for one. They don't really have any. Because, I mean, they have Alex Cobb who we could take on, but he's not very great. And this real trade we're trying to do is take on Mark Trumbo, but then we have to throw in some prospects. Trade room isn't anything to get real excited about. So we're going to trade him to the Orioles. Got rid of Nathan Eovaldi. And we have John Means, who's a good righty pitcher. Almost won Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's a lefty. So our whole rotation is full of lefties. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. While we're trading, we're going to go to the Braves. Because they have Mike Soroka, who's an incredibly talented young pitcher. See if we can't give them Mookie Betts. So they want us to take on Cole Hamels too. We could also say, what if we give you Chris Sale? So he says, can I trade? So we have to take on a big contract. There it is. And the big contracts they have are not that many. They're paying Mark Blansom a lot of money, but he's from the Giants. They have to take on. We could take on Cole Hamels' contract. So together, but we have to take on one more big one. And like we could take on Billy Hamilton. Here you go, Travis Denard. You want Travis Denard? No. He actually had a decent year last year, but just he seems faulty. Could take on Chris Martin. He's 32, and then we could trade him. That's probably what we're gonna end up doing. We have to throw in someone else, and like I said, we have a first base prospect in Christian Cassis. He won't get the job done. We do have Jose Peraza. Who we can trade. And Bobby Dabayak, but he doesn't get it done. But the Red Sox don't really have any prospects, so this is going to be hard. What we could do though is back out of that, go back to them, and see if we can't trade Betts for someone. Cole Hamels, yeah, Cole Hamels he's not bad. But they're paying him a lot of money. So what we have to look for is someone who's a little bit better. So maybe we're looking for here like Mark Melanson, who they're paying a lot of money for. See, they're interested in this deal. And we could also get in pitching prospect too, like Kyler Murray, who has a good fastball. With that trade, though, we do have a big hole in the center field, but we did get one of the better pitchers in baseball, Mike Soroka. Now we have to just get rid of Chris Sale and see what we can get for him. Because teams might not want him. Well, I mean, they would want him, but they don't want to take on his big contract. And what we're looking for now, we could trade with the Yankees for Paxton, Chapman, and Ottavino. The Twins for Cruz, Jake Odorizzi, Mitch Garver, or the Mets. The Mets offered us a terrible deal. We could get Craig Kimbrell back, and Kyle Hendricks would be another pretty solid starter. Or we could get Hunter Green, Joey Votto, Mike Moustakas. or Luis Diaz. So none of these deals are very good. Ooh, that's a good deal. But where will we play Justin Turner? So it looks like I'm thinking this Twins one is pretty good because we can put Cruz at first base and Odorizzi catcher, but then we don't have that. So we want right. What we need though is a right fielder, and oof, can't get Bellinger because he's on a renewable contract. Could get Blackman, Ian Desmond. We could also probably sneak in maybe like a David Dahl. No, they won't do that. So what we could possibly get Yelich, but we can't. Sadly, not taking Bryce Harper. We could get Mookie Betts back from the Braves, but I don't think they're gonna let that do that. They're gonna do that. Kyle Tucker is a very good prospect, but I don't think they're gonna want to do that. So we do have a very good team. We could get Max Kepler, who's a very good player, and we could take on Nelson Cruz. Not gonna do that. So right now we are set with the team, but we need a right fielder, and don't want to play Mark Trumbo in right field because he's not very good anymore. So he does have decent power though, so he might hit a couple of home runs. But we're probably gonna have to move him to no, we want Sale last. Pretty low in the lineup because he's not gonna offer a lot at the plate. So we have to do that, sadly, because he used to be very good when he was back in the day when he was on the Rangers, but that's sadly just not the case anymore. So we have a different lineup with a better pitching situation with a righty we can plug in there. So we put Mike Soroka up here. Yeah, that's a pretty goddamn good rotation. And we can check the league. We see the Orioles are the worst team. The Blue Jays aren't so good. We're the third best team. The Rays are the ninth. And the Yankees are the first best team. So we still gotta get better than them. And a way to do that is to improve our bullpen because it's not that great. Now we don't need a great reliever. But what we could do on the market is Brandon Morrow is a free agent. But Will Harris is also a free agent, and so is Dylan Betances. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give Will Harris a 1-year deal. Our roster's currently full. We're gonna have to release a couple of guys so we can sign Will Harris to a 2-year deal and see if he likes that. And he gives it some thought. He's gonna fit real nicely into our lineup. Not into our lineup, but in our pitching rotation, so he can be a good righty. But we're lacking some lefties, so we need some lefties in the pen. And do have a couple of guys in mind, but I don't think they're gonna want to do that. We could try and get Zach Britton, but I don't think they're gonna do that with us. So we're gonna have to find somebody else. And what I did want to do with the White Sox is I wanted to try and acquire Nick Madrigal from them, but it's gonna take a lot. They want Erod and Bobby Dabayek. So you could give them a John Means and call up Martin Perez. John Means is they're both lefties. John Means considerably much better though. You could throw in a Darwin Hernandez, but I don't think they're gonna want to do that. So John Means you could also throw in Bobby Dabayek, but he can get the meter done. So they want John Means for him. They want Erod, who's probably gonna be a great player going forward because he's only gonna get better. But what we could do is we could also see what because the way this stupid game works is you have to. They're not just gonna say, "Oh, Chris Sale for a couple of prospects, done deal." They're gonna say, "Oh, well, that's too much money." So they're gonna make us take on a lot of money. So what we have to do is get see Jose Abreu, do that, and we offer Chris Sale. But he said it's not enough. That's too much budgetary constraint. So we can also throw in Kelvin Herrera. We need more than $90, $9 million. So see if we can find someone. They're paying more, which they're not. The biggest contract they have is Jose Abreu and Yasmani Grandal, but they're not gonna want to do that. So it looks like we can't find a home because we're paying Sales so much money. Maybe we could do it next year though, when he's making a little bit less. But we still need a righty for the pen. So Reyes Bontraus is a good player. Kyle Barkloff is not. Now, Dylan Fro's the righty. Blake Tryon they're not going to want to trade. Could get Scott Alexander, who's up for arbitration for a while. We'd have to give something to them, so we can give them Martin Perez. And we could possibly throw in maybe another lefty like Caleb Ferguson. And we can give one of our crappy bullpen pitchers in there. Because they might do that. Not going to give up Matt Barnes, but we can give up Oscar Hernandez because he's far away. So that's a pretty good deal. We're getting rid of some money for some good relievers who are on cheap deals. So we have a pretty good team going forward, especially in our bullpen. But does that put us over the top with the Yankees? It puts us at third. So we need some more power. And the way to do that is to get power hitting player. Rantini's gonna be hard to trade for. Luke Voigt's gonna be hard to trade for. And the Yankees won't want to give up their guy. So we'll have to look for someone else. Randall Grichuk is an option, but they're paying him a hell of a lot of money. And we don't want to take on that deal. Nomar Marzar is an option, but he's sort of far away. But a team that we could go to is, here he is, Jorge Soler. It's gonna be hard to trade for though, so let's see what they'd want. They'd want Jackie Bradley Jr. for him, but that's gonna leave us a hole in center field, and we wouldn't have anybody to replace him. We need him for right field because we need that power in his back, because he hit 48 home runs this year. Hell of a lot. And they're seeking a left fielder, so they're in a left fielder. And starting pitching, something we don't have. But we could try an offer from Mark Melanson. They don't want him because of budgetary constraints. And Jorge Soler has decent contract. Caleb Ferguson they might take, but he's a lefty in the pen, so we can't trade him. And they don't really have any prospects to get that excited about either, which is a bad thing. So we do have Tristan Cassis, who will get the deal done. We could throw in this guy, who might be a good power hitter. So he traded the prospect away, but we did get Jorge Soler, which is a win for the team. And And what we can do is we can tell him to, where is he? We can tell him to work, that's not him. We can tell him to work on his contact hitting so it can be a better contact hitter, which we want in him. Well, we're still stuck with Mark Trumbo's contract, but he's a free agent at the end of the season, so we can let him go. But now all we have to do is plug Jorge Soler into right field, and we have our right fielder, and that's a good power hitter right there. And that doesn't put us over the Yankees. They're still first place, but I think that's enough to put us over with them, because this team's pretty stacked. They just don't play to their potential, but they're pretty good. Like JBJ, they're a good fielder, and we have Jorge Soler to be our power hitter, who can be like sort of back end guy. Yeah, put it like number 6, so we can drive in all those runs for us. Because, well, he's not a great RBI man. He is a damn good, damn fine power hitter. And Devers just went down, so we need to fix our lineup. We're 5-2 right now, but with Devers hurt for a while, and he's playing well too, that's not so great. Well, now what I forgot to do is we have to work on our pitchers, our bullpen pitchers, so our lefty guys are pitching well and can just get better overall. Like, you'll see older guys start to decrease, like well, Harris is starting to get worse because he's old, but Benintendi's only gonna get better. But and like along with Soroka and stuff, with guys like Erod or Vasquez, not Velasquez. Guys like Dustin Pedroia are gonna get worse, even though they're playing well. That's a bummer. So we do have Jose Peraza, and he can play anywhere to fill in for us, which is good. So we did get those new scouters, so we can look up players. I don't like this guy. Juan Ramos is very, very, very good. So we can try and get him in the draft or trade for him, because I don't think we're gonna get some very solid players. And by the end of this, we can probably trade Chris Sale to the White Sox for Nick Margell, because we'll have a hole there. Because Dustin Pedroia is getting older. Rangers offered a contract. This isn't really like canon. Not canon, but it didn't happen in real life. But yeah, so we're playing pretty decent baseball. 18-11 with this roster right now that we constructed. And Marcus Wilson is no longer hurt. He's a minor leaguer, so we don't care about that. And the Angels want to offer a contract, Tommy La Stella for Caleb Ferguson. But we're not gonna do that, because Caleb Ferguson's our lefty out of the pen. Well, one of them. And lefties in the pens are really valuable, because they're lefties and there aren't that many of them in baseball, and we got 2 pretty good ones. Pretty good ones. Oh, going up against the Yankees, oh, neck and neck. And about by the All-Star, about at the draft where we're at. I think we're the last draft pick, yeah. This is 2019 standings, so we have to look at all our players. So this guy's gonna strike out a lot of batters, but they're not certain with them. So we have to try and look at players who have that green bar filled out fully. Not fully, but pretty far. So like this guy, Lincoln Mims, great last name. We're gonna draft him. Good hitter. So I hope he's a good player. And this guy's still available. He may be young, but he probably will develop, unless we find someone who blows us away. like this guy, but don't take like relievers or closers in the first 3 rounds. Or we could go as Victor Escuba, or because he's only 19, so we're gonna go with him because the stats predicted well. And now we can go for that third baseman who we wanted to go for. And all the blue chippers are gone because there's only about like 10 or so using the draft pick, and that means they're gonna be A's. So right now we're just trying to draft guys. Like the higher the bar, the further the bar is, the better chance it's more accurate. So let's say this guy, this is probably his stats. This guy, they could be his stats, they don't know. And this guy, so we're gonna go with this guy. He's from Massachusetts, Rick Barcy. Yes, his bar wasn't filled out, but he had some pretty good stats. So, like this guy, who we were looking at in the first round, who we weren't gonna take, but it was a pretty good round 6 draft pick. So right now there's only a couple players left, and this only goes to 6 rounds. So we're probably gonna go with the best guy, Hal Witt. And this is the 2019 season, not the 2020. And our draft picks weren't bad. You know, this guy has an 86 potential, this guy has an 89. So we just have to sign these guys. See what other players got. Good reliever. They got a high potential catcher. They got a good closer. And this is the morale. Will show how happy your guys. Like Vasquez is real happy because of his team role, and he's just a good, happy as an individual. So was Price. Maybe because of his contract, they were paying him a bunch of money. And he's doing all right. Bogarts is also happy for that, and he's only getting better because he's young and he has a high potential. But Dustin Pedroia is getting worse because he's old, not because he's not playing so well. Will Harris is staying where he is, having a good year. Jorge Soler is doing pretty good. He's happy in his team role. So is Scott Alexander, having a phenomenal year. Chris Sale, you know, all these guys are happy. But there are also guys who are meh, like Benintendi, because he doesn't like his contract, and he's getting better. See, so what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna have to give some of these guys an extension. Like Mike Soroka's not happy. You know, he likes his team role, but he wants more money and he wants top tier pitching, and we can't give that to him. So they all start voting. We have JD and Xander Bogaerts and Vasquez, who are leading their respective positions in votes. We only have one righty though, but oh, John Means is pitching incredibly. Holy crap! See, that's why you go after some guys. Our bullpen, Caleb Ferguson's pitching well, great. So was Will Harris, and Mark Blansom is just pitching terribly. Heath Rombay's terrible. Ryan Brazier's pretty good. Barnes terrible. Scott Alexander, this lefty's great. Brandon Workman's doing good. So about at the All-Star break is when we're gonna stop. Oh, and JD just went down. Ooh, it's not good. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad. And we're still playing pretty good baseball though. Jacob Barnes, my name, is pitching well. What do they want for him in return? Josh Oakley? See potential? I'd do that. Yeah, because he was younger and had a B potential, and Josh Oakley, they've had slightly better stats, but he had, you know, he was only C potential, and Ryan Brazier just went down, so that's not good. And you know, Gonzalez isn't very good, and you can, like, David Price sustained an injury add to his abdominal strain during today's game. It appears he will be out for a day or two. We can just keep him active, and once he hits his start, he can pitch it. And at the All-Star break, we're 61 and 29, which is pretty good. So we can see we're leading the division by 7.5 games, which probably wouldn't happen in real life with this team because the Yankees are probably underperforming. But that's probably what's happening because our catches aren't that good. Well, they're good, but I don't know. See the All-Star votes: Andrew Heaney, Justin Verlander, Chris Sale, and John Means were both All-Stars. Ooh, and Andrew Heaney's having a very good year. He's won 16 games, and it's only the All-Star break. Jesus. We had Brandon Workman was an All-Star, but no other Reds. We had Christian Vasquez, and the higher they are means they started on the All-Star team. So Vasquez started. Well, these guys at the bench. You know, like Mancini was good, and Miguel Cabrera. The only reason he's in, why is he going up? Oh, well, I don't know. But the only reason he's an All-Star is because each team needs one All-Star to represent them. Like Whit Merrifield and Mayhew are All-Stars, Rendon and Moncada, Bogarts and Jorge Polanco, Bo Bichette are all All-Stars. Michael Brantley, Lourdes Gurriel, and Yordan Alvarez, Mike Trout, Oscar Mercado, and George Springer, and Nelson Cruz. So we're going to check in on our team. Benintendi's having a nice, solid season. He's going up. He's only getting better. Pedroia is having, I guess, a decent year. Fielding real well. Bogarts is having an incredible season. He's only getting better. Jorge Soler is having an incredible season. Not the pop wise, but he's getting there. Devers is finally back. He's having a great season in his limited at bats. So is Chavis. He's really performing over his head. Vasquez is performing over his head. Jack Bradley Jr. is actually about where he would be at this time. And Jose Peraza isn't doing that great, so we can switch him out with Mark Trumbo. On the pitching rotation, Sale's doing great. Price is doing pretty great. Sokrook is dominating. So is John Means, and Eduardo Rodriguez still hasn't figured it out yet. So, about 31st is trade deadline, and it looks like we don't have any flaws in our team so far. Oh, I forgot to check the standings. You can see we have 70 wins. Pretty damn good. Better than the Yankees. Because we just have great pitching and power and contact. While the Orioles and Blue Jays don't. The Rays are doing very well. Twins are doing well. I can see like the Indians aren't doing so well, even though they're the 8th best team in baseball. But the Twins are doing well. The Astros are doing well. The Angels and Yankees are the wild card with the White Sox 3 games out. And everyone else is kind of out of the race already. That just shows you how tough the American League is. The Nats are actually leading the league. And I think the team's better than 15th. They're like top 10 team in baseball. The Braves are doing well. The Mets are, I guess, above 500. The Phillies are doing Philly things. And Marlins are still rebuilding. Cubs are... Oh. See, this didn't happen. This is the 2019 season. This did not happen. The Cubs did not win this many games. The Pirates should be lower. The Reds should be higher. The Brewers should be higher. The Cards should be higher. And the Dodgers are 4th placed. Wow. With the 61 Rockies first. Jeez, so this is just kind of a weird year, but this isn't the real 2020 season. This is still 2019, but we got all of our trades through. Let's say it's the winter meetings right now. We still got our trades in there. So, JD's back, which is going to help us a lot more. So this team, about in the time we're in, I think we're probably going to win like 104 games. Gotta keep Mike Stroke active. Sorry, someone called me. You know, so he can make a start. And Ryan Brazier is still out for 2 weeks, so we're gonna keep him on the 60-day DL. But rolling into September, we're at a good spot and about, and we'd probably pick the wild card right here. Definitely winning our division because the Yankees only have 58 wins. You can see that, not 88 wins. So we're definitely winning our division, and we won 103 games.
It's officially scoreboard watching season as the regular season comes to a close. Here on Inside the Show, starting in the AL East, the Red Sox got 11 hits overall as they blew out Baltimore 9-1. In the standings, the Red Sox are leading the AL East. They hold a comfortable 8-game advantage, while the Orioles are 4th in the division. They're over 20 games out of first. The Toronto Blue Jays tallied 5 home runs overall as they destroyed the Rays 9-1. Heading into the day, the Blue Jays sit in 4th place in the American League East division. They're over 20 games out of first. And the Rays are 3rd in the division. They're over 20 games out of first. The Rangers starting pitcher, number 36, pitched his way to his 100th career victory, helping the Rangers claim a win over the Yankees 3-2. As of today, the Rangers sit in 4th place in the American League West. They're over 20 games out of first. And the Yankees sit in 2nd place in the American League East division, but they currently lead the AL
Zach Greinke's going down because he's old.
The White Sox combined for a 4-hitter as they defeated the visiting Tigers 2-0. Entering the day's action, the White Sox are in 2nd place in the AL Central, 10 games out of first. And the Tigers are at the bottom of the division. They're over 20 games out of first. The Minnesota Twins had 12 hits as a team as they beat the Royals in Kauffman Stadium 8-4. At the start of the day, the Royals are in 4th place in the AL Central. They're over 20 games out of first, while the Twins are atop the division, an impressive 10 games ahead of second.
So I guess what Merrifield got traded to the Angels was a good deal.
Just 2 hits as they destroyed the Angels 7-0. Heading into the day, the Angels are in 2nd place in the AL West, yet they currently hold a spot in the race for the American League wild card. While the Astros are atop the division, they hold a comfortable 8-game advantage. The Oakland Athletics allowed only 5 hits as a staff as they bested the Mariners in Safeco Field 5-1. As of right now, the Mariners sit in last place in the American League West division. They're over 20 games out of first.
You can see it.
While the Athletics
leaders
are
batting
3rd
average
in
with
the
Mike
division.
Trout.
They're 15 games back.
And
Corey Kluber got the win on the mound, his 14th this season, leading the Indians past the Nationals 5-0. Entering the day's action, the Nationals are in 2nd place in the NL East, 1 game out of first. And
Trout
the
hit the most
Indians
home runs.
sit in 3rd place in the
Trout
American League
was an
Central,
MVP,
14 games back.
because he
Josh
hit
Tomlin collected his first W this
352.
season, helping lead the Braves to a win over the Mets.
And the War of
3-2.
11.
At the start of the
Jesus
day,
Christ.
the Mets sit in 4th place in the National League East division, 18 games out of first, while the Braves are atop the division, 1 game ahead of second. Zach Wheeler struck out 10 batters and earned the W, leading Philadelphia to victory over the Marlins 2-1. He is currently in the top 5 in the NL in wins. Heading into the day, the Phillies sit in 3rd place in the National League East division, 16 games out of first. And the Marlins are at the bottom of the division. They're over 20 games out of first. The Reds completed a 3-game series sweep as they plundered the Pirates 9-2. They're on a roll with 8 straight victories.
So what we're doing right
As
now,
of right now, the
is
Pirates
we're playing the Angels in the first round. They won the wild card. Oh, Chip got Chip. So we won 103 games.
Welcome to the show,
the Yankees
baseball
won
fans.
95.
Here's what's going on in the baseball
The Rays
world on this
only
October
were
morning.
500,
For game 1 of
which
the
is
National
pretty
League Division
disappointing.
Series, the Braves allowed only
Twins
5
won
hits in the
99
game
games.
as they
The White
bested
Sox won
visiting Rockies
89. The
5-0.
Indians came back with
They now
85
lead the
wins.
series 1-0
Astros won
heading into game
101.
2.
93
In
for the
game 1 of
Angels
the
and
NL
only
Division
86 for
Series,
the Athletics.
the Cubs combined to give up just 5 hits as they bested the
See
visiting
the
Padres
card right
3-1.
here.
They now lead the series 1-0 heading into game
Braves
2.
won the East.
Thanks for tuning in today. We'll be back here tomorrow
Cubs
and all
won the
postseason
Central.
long.
And the Dodgers missed out on the playoffs. That's upsetting. So game 1, we have not John Means, but Chris Sale going up against Chris Sale going up against Felix Fernandez. We lose that game, lost that game, and got eliminated. And the Braves won the World Series, but that's not how 2019 went. So you can see retired players.
Hi
Chris
there,
Davis
everyone. Welcome to
retired.
this special postseason edition
Edwin
of Inside the
Jackson,
Show.
Albert
For Game 6 of
Pujols,
the World Series, the
and some
Atlanta
other
Braves
players
allowed
like
only
Anibal
5
Sanchez,
hits as a
because this
staff
game
as they
really
defeated the visiting Angels,
hurts you
clinching
if
the
you're
World
older.
Series championship.
The
It has been a
exclusive free agents, we
storybook
don't need to
season
bring
for them,
anyone
and they
back.
will look to repeat as champions
Will
next
Harris
year.
declined his contract option and became free agent. So we probably need to get him back because he had a damn good year. Could give him a closer deal. 17 million. That's what it'll take to sign with him. He probably hit the free agency market. Yeah, he did. Looks like it's all starting pitching this year in Josh Donaldson. These are some guys who just didn't get signed, and I guess we're waiting there. So we have to tender contracts. We have to tender to Mike Soroka, who we're gonna give him his deal. We probably could extend him. How much does he want for 10 years? 23 million. Jeez, that's a lot, but I think he's worth it. So he's probably only gonna want more money too. So I will give him that deal. Rafael Devers probably wants a big extension. Well, we have him until 2024. So how much does he want for a 6-year deal? 15 million? That's pretty good. So if we gave him a 7-year deal, I'd take him till he's 30, so we're probably going to do that. Give him a nice big extension. Because this guy's really going to be the rock. Ooh. We're going to backload the contract, so we're not going to have to deal with it for a while. John Means, give him a nice... Oh, that's a good deal to take it. Michael Chavis, that's a good deal. How did he play for? How did he perform? Pretty damn well. We can let the CPU do that. And trade talks. Chris Sale did win us the Cy Young, but we do have that hole at second base because right now we only got Jose Perez and Dustin Pedroia. As good as Dustin is, yeah, we need to get some prospects for him. So maybe LeMahieu, we could try and trade for him. I don't think the Yankees would give him up though. We want prospects like this guy, or like Biggio, or like Margell, who had a great year. So that's probably what we're gonna try and do. And we have a lot of money to work with. After these guys have to take their contract though, and because we do have Bogarts and Sale locked up for a while, and we still have Price, who had a good year, which you didn't have in 2019. So we're gonna send him a couple of days. Pirates signed Donaldson. Athletics acquired Jeff McNeil. See if we get Will Harris, because the Nationals are also interested in giving him a contract. But I think we can get him because who wouldn't want to come back to Oh, and the Braves get Ryu. So I guess trading bets to the draft. See if there's anybody good available now. If this was 2019, which it isn't, so we could get these guys who aren't very good, but they'd have to take up a spot in a 25-man roster, but we don't have room. Oh, and the Reds acquired Brantley with Sonny Gray. Decent deal. And now we're in spring training and we can give contract extensions, so Benintendi, he's 25, 7-year deal. Wants a lot of money. So, what's our bank account looking like? That's our budget. Pretty damn good. So, got 3 players here: Soroka, Devers, and Benintendi. Benintendi's a free agent in 2023. Bogarts is in 2024. and Mike Soroka is in 2025. So we'd probably want to give Benintendi a contract, and he wants a shit ton of money. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go down as low as we can, and then we'll hit 30s. So that's probably what we're gonna have to do. 7-year deal. Backload it. And what does this put our budget at? Don't want to check that. This puts our budget at 1.48, which is not bad. So we're still making a lot of money. And then Lansom's coming off the books next year, so we will have more money to work with. But we do have that hole at second base, so we could get a guy like Brandon Lau, very good young player, or Nick Margell, who I'm really looking at right here. We are paying Chris Sale less money. We're very interested in this deal, so we can fucking trade for him. But we could also probably sneak some prospects out of this. We could get Zach Collins. Wait, no, they wouldn't do that. Wouldn't trade Luis Roberto. Unless we maybe throw in some of that one catcher we drafted. Limca Mintz. If we get Luis Roberto, that would be an incredible deal. We could offer Tommy Joseph, Jose Peraza. Boom! We got a lot of more money available, and we just have a more solid core, which is what I wanted to do. Mike Soroka can take over, and now all we need is a righty, and I think I have somebody in mind, but he got taken. So we could get Matt Shoemaker, Mike Leake, who's a righty. Had a good year. See if we have anybody in the farm system. Not really. Could bring up this guy, but so we are. We need to add him to the 40-man roster. And he's a rookie, but he's a... Oh, God, he's only a 68 overall, so don't think we're going to do that. AAA needs a pitching rotation, jeez. So we're probably gonna have to go out there and sign Mike Leake, but that's not a bad thing because he's not a terrible pitcher. 2-year deal. He's our 5th man, and he has good walk run, so he's not gonna walk a lot of batters, which we need. So he's probably gonna have a pretty decent season. So we have a team. We have a solid team. And what we can do is we can... Why isn't... Probably going to put Benintendi right there and move Dustin Pedroia up a little bit. Because he's old. Sad to say, but he's old. This is just... Needs a pitch. I don't know why he hasn't equated there. Left field, center. So Jack's playing center, and so we have a team. Don't know why Martinez is leading off though. And we have Jorge Soler. This team is lacking speed though, so what I think I'm gonna do is we're probably gonna try and trade for a speed demon guy. What position are we lacking at? First base, we're set with Chavis, who had a phenomenal year. Got Nick Margell, Devers, I know it's Devers, Bogarts, Benny Tendy, Jackie Bradley. We could trade Jackie Bradley Jr. And I do have somebody in mind who we could trade for. Entiarte. He would be a good fielder, and he's faster than Jackie Bradley Jr. And he's not cheaper, but we need more. Shit. Ketel Marte I'd love to get, but he's gonna be too hard to get. They do have a lot of good center field prospects, though. But they're not gonna want to give any of them up. Charlie Marte would be a great option. We got 2 years left in his deal. No, never mind. We have Luis Robert, who we're probably gonna bring up after this season, because he's a damn good player. And with all this extra money freed up, we can definitely give Mike Soroka that hefty contract extension, which he's been wanting. So that's gonna be good, because this guy is the future of the team. Yeah, this guy is so good. Give him that 10-year deal he wants. The deal I'm looking for. All I gotta do is give Devers good, nice long deal. 15 million. Good deal. I have to give them what they're looking for, else, yeah, they're not gonna accept. He just wants a short-term contract, so we could give him 2-year deal, cheap. Give Workman 3-year deal. Barnes, we can give him a 3-year deal as well. And Erod, we can give a 5-year deal too. That could be our ace, but he's gonna be a damn solid player. Like Margell, he can get an extension. How old is he? He's only 23. What's his potential at? 93. Good. So you can see guys like Benintendi has like a 99 potential. Just got exit out of this. And you can see like guys like you know, like guys like Bogarts and stuff, pretty potential. Like check his potential, see what it is. And so you see, yeah, like guys like Price, he's only a B, but he used to be good. But we got our guys. Got a pretty expensive team for a while, but we are making positive money. So got some through spring training, and then we'll set up our lineup. Then I'm probably gonna end this episode. And yeah. So 4th best team. I still say the Yankees better. With this team, we're pretty good. Well, because we're gonna get Luis Robert coming up, so damn good team. We do got Benintendi here. So great team. See Nick Margell getting all the playing time. He is. He did hit 310 last year and had a WAR of 5.3 and a hot fielding percentage, so that's what we're gonna give him. But guys, I'm gonna leave it here.